Mic test, check 1, check 2. Mic test, check 1, check 2.
Check, 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 1, 2. Check, check.
Good evening and welcome to the Epic Ice Center here in Fort Collins, Colorado. Tonight is the first game of the Big Mountain Classic for the CSU Rams, and they'll be welcoming in the Bowling Green State University Falcons. Alongside me, one of Bowling Green's own, Dan, my color commentator tonight. What kind of a matchup can we expect tonight between these both teams?
Well, you're going to expect a Falcon team that had a great week of practice, Sean, and you know, guys that have not seen the ice in a game ever since Dayton, where they traveled down to Springfield, Ohio for that one. So while they have not played a game since December 6th, they're still a team that has a couple new additions and is willing to go out west and look for a win here in this tournament.
And for CSU, it was a tough weekend last week. 2 games against Metro State and DU, both that ended up lost for the CSU Rams. It was an 8-2 beating down for Metro State. And on Saturday, a much more competitive game against DU, ultimately ending with a 5-3 lead. And CSU this weekend looking to start their 4-game series strong against Bowling Green, who had seen some struggle this season. For the visiting Falcons, 4-14 this season. 12 points are stats come off of the ACHA website, and we understand that there's some things that might have not been added up. But 4-6 in their past 10 games and currently 8th in their division. And getting the start tonight is going to be number 33, Riley Martin. What are some things you've seen from his game?
Well, Martin, a guy just out of Livonia, Michigan, looking for just the start tonight. And really a big thing with the BGSU club team here that Coach Drew Harper knows is he can rely on any of his goaltenders, whether it's Mitchell Norkovicius, who will not dress tonight, or the backup, which will be Tim Whitehead. He knows he can count on any of those three, but just something about Riley, the way he's able to move across the crease, able to read the play. And there have been situations we've seen this season, especially when you take it all the way back, which feels like forever ago, their first game of the season against Ohio State, where Martin kept them in it until Bowling Green ended up dropping 2 in the third period and lost that game 2-0.
And on the other side, getting the start and goal will be number 31, Josiah Scrow for the Rams. Only played 3 games this season, has a 1-2 record, and posting up an .875 save percentage. It's his 3rd year with the team, and prior to joining, he played with the Texas Junior Stars. Looking to get his start tonight and start the Rams out with a win. We are moments away from the first period, and we are excited to bring you this game tonight here on Price Productions. It's going to be a first of 4 games of the weekend, and this is what the next games. Tomorrow they'll play Utah State. We'll have that game at 6:45. January 18th they'll be playing Weber State, and finally to finish up the Big Mountain Classic will be against Providence College. And for Bowling Green, their next 3 games, tomorrow they'll be playing Weber State, and then January 18th they'll be playing the University of Denver, and they'll finish up their road trip January 19th through Utah State. So fun action tonight. We will step aside. You're watching CSU Rams hockey here on Price Productions. Mic test, check 1, check 2. Mic test, check, check.
Check, 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 check. Test, test.
Thank you for tuning back in. It's senior night here at Epic Ice Arena, so right now we are honoring the seniors for the Rams, and you can turn to the screen as they come out. Our 3 seniors tonight, Cross North, Josiah Scrow, and Aubrey Prime Morales were the 3 on the ice that were celebrated moments before the game. And for Cross North, it's his first year at the D2 level, played 3 years with the D1 team, had 27 games played in those 3 years. Josiah Scrow, also his 3rd year with the team for D2, and beginning to start tonight. And Aubrey Prime Morales joined the team last year, halfway through it. Prime Morales, 2 years with the team, played 12 games with Maryville University's DU team before joining the Rams. So congrats to those 3 gentlemen out on the ice. We wish them the best of luck in their pursuits afterwards. CSU is on the bench. We're waiting for Bowling Green to come out on the ice.
Well, and here you have it. I mean, obviously a big credit to the Colorado State seniors and everything they have contributed to their respective program, everything that they have pitched in. And, you know, Bowling Green a little bit further away and being on the travel side of things here with Colorado State on their senior night. But obviously you have to give credit where credit is due. A huge shout out to the Colorado State seniors.
All of just the best of luck for them, and a huge for Cross North in the season that he's having for the Rams. It's come up clutch in many of the games that we watched this season, and just his goaltending has kept the Rams in the games early on, but it seems like the recipe for disaster, rather, for the Rams this season is that letting games slip away late in the third period. And that's something they can't afford to do tonight against Bowling Green, who's hungry to come on the road and get this win to start out their classic.
Well, absolutely. And a big thing with Bowling Green, too, is they kind of have a little bit of a similar trajectory, if that makes sense. But the way BG kind of works is they're more of they need to just build that momentum and they keep it close. But if one thing kind of struggles, then it'll continue to struggle a little more. But, you know, we saw that a little bit earlier this season in the rough goings when you have to play teams like Indiana and Ohio. But when you're able to get those improvements and you're able to keep the close games like we saw in just the last series, even though it was over a month ago in the Dayton Flyers, able to get them at their home barn in the home and home series and keep it close both nights is definitely something you don't want to overlook.
And for the Rams, especially last weekend, you can tell that there was a month of hockey that was not played, as it seemed like the team just came out flat-footed in the matchup against Metro State. They rebounded nicely against DU, wasn't able to come away with the win. But the things to take away from that game that they can bring into this game, start off running what they did well in the game against U, is their penalty kill this season has been phenomenal. And looking, if they go down a man, that is something that the Rams can count on tonight in the special teams.
Absolutely. And now, as we're getting starting lineups over here, the all-green line as they wear in practice, and Ryan Hoover, Anthony Higgins, and Captain Mark Rudo. On the forwards, then you're going to see the Buffalo Boys at defense, where it's going to be Austin McMullen, number 19, and Carter Gata, number 26. Then, out of Livonia, Michigan, number 33, Riley Martin.
That is the starting five for the Falcons tonight, and for your Rams, getting the starting goal will be Josiah Scrow in goal. The defense pairing will be Lucas Wild and Kirk Slaw, and the forwards for Doug Sheridan tonight will be Tyler Shawns, Carson Petz, and Max Neumeyer. The starting five for the Rams. We are excited to bring you the first game of the Big Mountain Classic. We will step aside for the national anthem and bring you the first period just moments away. National anthem aside, first period action here at Epic Ice Arena in Fort Collins, Colorado. And the Rams will be wearing their home green. You don't rarely see that. That's usually their away kit. And for Bowling Green tonight, wearing their almost like creamsicle jerseys tonight. Very sharp, a very nice look for the Falcons.
Well, that's right, Sean, and this will be the debut of the creamsicle jerseys for the orange and brown this season. Normally, we see either their home whites or the traveling brown. However, they're going to debut these brand new alternate jerseys tonight for Denver.
Puck is down here in Fort Collins and is controlled by the Falcons back into the defensive zone. It's Austin McMullen. The thing gets underway. First game of many. 4 games for both teams. And it'll be a battle of just who can stay in control of their body, stamina, and just power through the soreness and the toughness of what hockey is a very physical game. And just how do you prepare yourselves for going 4 games back-to-back playing in a very high-contact sport?
Well, what Coach Drew likes to talk a lot about is not only the physical preparation but the mental preparation, and how, you know, you got to get that rest, you got to get that adequate hours, and especially Bowling Green, their first game back from the winter break, we're going to see a lot of those just growing pains to get back into 2026.
It's icing on the Rams. Face-off comes back in zone, turnover, backhand pass in and make it over to Hoover. Kept in by the Falcons, tipped up and out of play. As both teams feeling themselves in this game, getting back to it. After it was a long break, CSU already had 2 games back, but for the Falcons, how do you get past that rust early on?
Well, really, you just have to adjust yourself, and a big part of this, too, is Bowling Green is adjusting to a time difference 2 hours behind Eastern, but also getting off a flight and going into Colorado.
And that's a great observation there, not only having to face that travel time out in front, and a tip there from Schmidt. Gets sent over the net. Aiden Schmidt, only 2 games back, looking for his first goal. An excellent opportunity for number 9. The good cross-ice pass from O'Brien. Schmidt's been hungry to get his first goal back. And icing here on the Falcons. We talk about Aiden Schmidt, his 3rd year with the team. He had 14 goals, 13 assists last year in 29 games played, and missing the first half of the season due to ineligibility. Academics come to first line at school, and I know Aiden Schmidt was hungry to get back on the ice. And he had an assist in the 2 games that he played last week, and it was that close to getting the first goal of the game. Face-off controlled, run around the boards, took a funky bounce, almost collected there by Justice Harrison. Shot on from the blue line, and Scrow will get a blocker on it. Forechecking now. Hoover loses the puck. Harrison and Harrison, both brothers out on the ice. Easton and Justice, both coming from Calgary, Alberta. First year with the team for the Harrison brothers. And 21 games played for Justice Harrison. He leads the team with points. 7 goals, 10 goals and 7 assists. 70 points, and the impact for the green and gold for the Rams. Justice Harrison had 2 goals against DU last game on the power play, and a frustrating loss. And we'll see if Justice Harrison can spring his team early. Turnover here, cross out in front, and Scrow will have this assigned with the stick. Collision behind the net, and a 4-car pileup. 5th joining. Conway will pinch this in and wrap it around the boards, waiting for it over for Klein now. Kept in momentarily, and the Rams are able to clear it out. Both teams getting themselves in this game. The Rams trying to stretch. Prime Morales will tip this in, not into the Falcon zone. Forechecking again for the Falcons. Back in the zone. Is around, but no Falcon is home, and actually winning the foot race. Nolan Patton is the first player there, so the Falcons will continue on the forecheck. Out in front, a chance here, saved with the glove by Scrow. Out in front, pushed, kept in momentarily, and that will stay in. Falcons are going to touch up. 3 minutes into our game, no score. Good chance from Aiden Schmidt earlier in the game. The Rams looking. White will put this on. Rebound collected by the Falcons. Transition the other way. There is a Falcons player that is on the ice. I believe he lost his skate blade. Needed to get help from his teammates off the bench.
Well, and I mean, exactly. That's going to be an issue for Patton. I mean, we were seeing that in practice, too, Thursday. He was having issues with those newly sharpened skate blades.
And there was a shot here that Scrow fought away with the glove. Put in the corner now. White will hustle there. Scholze, Ted Scholze for the Falcons on the ice. Forechecking working so far for the Falcons. Keisel. Out in front and a save by Skro. Another save there, and Skro will fall on it and cover it up with the glove.
Well, in a big play there, just seeing JT Webb and almost getting the opportunity there. He only has one goal so far this season that he claimed at the Yost in Michigan, but either way, looking for another one, and he's got another hometown buddy in Tanner Amos to his right with Caleb Kiesel to his left.
Kiesel is his second year with the team. He played 26 games last year, had 3 points in the season. He's currently so far only having a goal to his name in the season. Face off in the Rams zone. And the Rams trying to transition the other way. A pass a little bit too far from the stick of Tyler Schoens, and this will be an icing on the Rams. Talk about the man in net for the Falcons. Riley Martin has 9 games played this season with a 1-8 record. It's his third year with the team. What can you tell me more about Riley?
Well, Riley, you know, he's just such a great character, always has a smile on his face, and, you know, a great guy just to look around. But when you talk about him as a goaltender, he just knows what it means to stand on that business, and he's able to move so well from left to right.
Max Newmeyer able to tip this route. Another pass a little bit too far out of the reach of Kirk Slaw. A couple of tape-to-tape passes that are on the same page for the Rams. Turnover here. Petz will run this around the board. Schoens with Slaw. The Rams trying to keep it in, backhanded up and far to the Rams bench. Levi Bem out on the ice. Only played 9 games with the Rams so far. He didn't see any ice time last week. Still looking for his first point of the season. Rams get the forecheck going. Petz will intercept on a loose puck. Carson Petz turnaround shot there off the skate of Anthony Higgins. The Falcons will transition the other way. Stretch pass for Hoover. Tips it in. And Bem on his horse will try to clear this out. Turnover out front. Falcons. Conway tapping his slap shot here. Tipped on. And I believe Skro caught it with the glove. Now what a shot from Conway. Hit a body and ricocheted right on net, right into Skro's glove.
It surely did. I mean, you see that there. Conway trying to get the shot going, and a little bit more there from Jackson Beatty as well. His defensive partner in Hoover really been standing strong. That back door is this what he's known for, you know, being on that wing, and we're going to see what this first line can do for the Falcons.
We talked about the rough stretch that the Falcons have had early on in the season. And for head coach Drew Harper, you might like what he's seen from his team so far in this game with the aggressive forecheck and creating those turnovers in the Ram zone. And on the other way, Hansen will try to get it up to Schmidt. And neutral zone. Hoover will hop on this puck with a chance here. Almost dragged around Luke Hansen. Good stick. Deny Hoover with the shot there. Tipped on by O'Brien. Turnover, Schmidt in the slot. Back to Hansen. Hansen on board. And save by Martin, and out of play.
Well, and a good deflection there to take it away from Martin. And really, not only does he move back and forth so well, he's able to deflect those pucks out. And another thing, too, is picking up his defenseman. You see McMullen made a mistake, but since hockey is a team game, he was able to step up for him.
And someone was a little bit ahead on the faceoff, so we will redo it. Justice Harrison in on the faceoff. His brother on the right wing, Easton Harrison, will get it to him and put you to the point. Around the boards, Prime Morales will pinch in as well as Harrison. That clean zone entry. Klein now will get around one. A good move out in front. Had a man crashing. Wasn't able to get it to his stick. A good look there from the Falcons. That was Ronick McLaughlin with the chance low by Skro. Caught the Rams sleeping there a little bit. It was a defensive breakdown. And the Falcons were that close to getting on the board early. Clearing attempt up to Prime Morales. Get it back to Ipson. The Rams will dump it all the way around the boards. Tipped out to the neutral zone. Ipson will collect this again. The Rams will reset. Tip pass on, trying to break away. Harrison uses Harrison out front. He scores! Justice Harrison puts the Rams on top.
Well, in the move there, got to give, credit to that, and just the opportunity away to, start the breakout and then find the opportunity past Bentley and Martin.
And it was a good effort from the blue line to be able to contain control of that puck and bring it back to his forehand, backhand. Beats Riley Martin 5-hole, and with 13-17 left in the first period, gives the Rams a 1-goal lead. I talked about early at the beginning of the game, Justice Harrison and the impact he has for the Rams. And with adding to his goal total, now we'll have 11 goals on the season and continue making an impact for the Rams. Attempt was whiffed on by the Rams, so the Falcons will look to answer going down one. Tipped by the own stick of Marcus. David Marcus is back on the ice. Didn't see any ice time last week against Metro State or DU, so glad to see him back on the ice. Marcus has only played 19 games this season, and in those games, has 2 points, has a goal and assist. Nice to see number 2 back on the ice.
Well, and even then, we'll see an interesting situation here, just Updike, Gobble, and then Patton, but then you're going to just see who Gobble has going on against him. You look a little bit more in depth, and you're going to see none other than David Marcus.
Face-off. Won by the Falcons. They put it into the Rams zone, and the forechecking will try to go work again. This is where the Rams get in trouble in the last 2 games. Miscommunication and turnovers in their own zone led to goals. Looking to clean that up. Nolan Williamson, wearing number 6 tonight, had 2 games played last week. A shot that's tipped up and out of play, so we'll have a whistle.
Well, and Newmeyer there just stepping up, and really, as a defenseman, your whole purpose is to keep him as far away and as to the outside of the net as possible. And credit to Newmeyer there to be able to do that against Updike, just forcing him out wide, and then he gets the extra bonus. The deflected puck goes up in the net, and we restart play.
Face off in the Ram zone. JT Webb. And he'll be pushing in the corner. Pitching another point out in front. A good chance there, and Skro will deny it with the pad. Kept in by the Falcons. Another shot from the right, tipped wide. The Falcons looking to try to answer to tie this game up. Good chances back-to-back. Conway from the point. A shot tipped. Gets ricocheted in the corner. Didn't make it on the net. Good response from the Falcons. The Rams trying to recover in their own zone. The Falcons player gets tripped up in the corner. Down on the ice. That's number 9, JT Webb. He gets up to his feet. And the Rams will try to clear it out. But right to the stick of Conway, and he will send it back to sender. Webb will push this behind the net. Out in front, had a man in the middle, not able to get to the puck. So good response from the Falcons after taking one, going down a goal.
Well, continuing the momentum, though, is Colorado State, and that's the new defensive line pair, just the guys that started in Gata and McMullen out there.
Apologize for cutting you off, Dan. The shot came from Petz. So behind the net, the Rams look to reset. Warfield will try to get this out. And he does, and he will send it all the way down over for Harrison. Jackson O'Brien tried to get it to Schmidt, not able to get a shot off. So the first goal of the game will go to Justice Harrison. He continues his goal streak. McMullen on the stick of Ibsen. And Warfield will collect this and send it over to O'Brien. O'Brien will find Schmidt in the neutral zone. 1-on-2. Schmidt with a shot here, saved by Martin. Got that right in the breadbasket. A good save there from Riley Martin. Ibsen will collect this, push it over to O'Brien. O'Brien will swat at it, only as far as the neutral zone. Shot from the point, over the head of Skro. The Rams will collect this puck in their own zone. Intercept the patch in the neutral zone. Hoover trying to get this puck, will backhand it onto the stick of Wild. The Rams will keep away momentarily. Back to his deep partner. The Rams got a partial change. Schmidt still on the ice. Easton Harrison calling for the puck, and it gets intercepted again in the neutral zone. But Harrison will counter with a turnover of his own. Just 9:43 in the game, a 1-goal advantage for the Rams. Falcons will put this into the zone. Wild will give chase. Pass that was looking for Harrison, intercepted by the Falcons in the corner. 2 Rams on him, and Harrison will try to fish this puck away. 4-car pile up. Harrison will take a tumble, and it will go to Wild, trying to get up to Harrison. Another intercepted pass. The Falcons look to counter. A good move there. Loses stick momentarily. Schulze will take a shot from the point. Will get tipped, not on net. Good set up the perimeter. Falcons able to get the cycle going. 4 players push up into the board. Schulze will come off, and he'll get a 1-for-1 change. The Rams counter the other way. Newmeyer will push it behind the net. Try to slip around one check. Forechecking going to work. Both Harrison brothers in the mix. Will come out to Justus. There's only 4 Rams on the ice. There was a change. Luke Hansen came on, so Schmidt was looking for some. Schmidt was looking for some reinforcements. There's no Rams in the vicinity. Conway with Prime Morales on him. The Rams doing a good job in the forecheck, keeping the Falcons in the zone. Up to Bem. Bem will get a shot sent wide of the net. Denny White behind the net. The Rams trying to get some offensive time set up, and it'll turn over. 2-on-3 the other way. Conway, 2 Rams on him, able to slip both checks. Try to get it out into the middle of the ice. Good defensive forechecking. Back checks for the Rams. Haven't been able to let the Falcons really set up in the Ram zone. Martin will push this aside, and a back check, a hit from White. That was on Nolan Patton. Patton didn't really like that. The other way, out in front, a shot saved by Skro, by the speedy number 19, Austin McMullen.
Well, and you always love to see a defenseman, kind of like a Zach Orensky almost, who likes to take it up, who likes to go and be offensive, take the play to the other team, and really so far we're seeing that a lot from McMullen today, and just another example of that as we get the line change going, and JT Webb going to be leading the Falcon offense.
We would like to give a shout out to our sponsors, Log Building Technologies. For over 60 years, Long Building Technologies has delivered custom solutions to make commercial buildings more efficient, secure, and cost-effective. Get your building on the power play today. Visit www.long.com. Face off, the Falcons will try. Skro will make the save with the left-right pad. Good work from Skro so far. Like I mentioned in the pregame, Josiah Skro hasn't seen a lot of playing time, but so far he's come up big in the saves that he's needed to make. Defense almost break down there. The Rams try to get it out of the zone. Tipped it in his neutral zone. Nolan Williamson will push his man over. The Falcons try to counter the other way, and a good stick there. A turnaround shot. Skro makes the save. That's Tanner Amos. And it's just been chaos in the defense zone sometimes. And Skro doing a good job of denying all those chances. The Rams are offsides. With 6:27 left in the first period.
Well, and I mean, as we saw just earlier, Amos trying to get the play going for Bowling Green, but really the Colorado State defense standing up once again. And really, while Colorado State has the lone goal in this game, it's been their defense that's been the standout so far.
We've seen a couple of nice plays from the defensemen. Most noticeably, Lucas Wild there in the last attempt. Logan Warfield taking the body on the forward for the Falcons. Turn around here, backhand shot for Sean. They score! What a pass from Sean! A spinorama onto the stick. That's Kirk Slaw. Will get his 3rd goal of the season, and the Rams have a 2-0 lead.
And a goal to get the, we just mentioned Colorado State, was the lone team to score. That's going to continue, but now they got 2 instead of just 1, and that's going to continue it onward. As we see here, just a little bit of almost a miscalculation by Colorado State, but now they're going to have the line set as Bowling Green will put out their first forward line.
And I thought that Shawns was going to take the shot off the backhand, elected to go for the pass. good awareness and just a good answer for the Rams to start this game out. They had a lead against DU last game, and look out as that puck hits the screen, and they had a lead against DU last game. It was 3-1. Ultimately, DU was able to come back to that game. So now for the Rams, how are they going to continue to keep their foot on the pedal and not let the Falcons crawl back into this game? Because when the Falcons can, they can score, and the Rams have to be careful for that.
It's really moving the puck along. I mean, that's what Colorado State's been doing. And then the second piece to it is not only are you utilizing the team, you're going to have to look more in depth to it and really just stand strong on the defense. I mean, you got those guys like Newmeyer who have the support and know what it takes. Lucas Wild's another notable name out there as well. It's really been the Colorado State defense so far.
One of the strong suits for this Colorado State team throughout the year has been block shots as well from the blue line. It's been one of the, like I said, just strong shoot for the defense, and we see the sacrifice and a turnover here. Aiden Schmidt down Broadway, and a great save by Martin. Aiden Schmidt cannot get a goal to save his life, and there will be a power play coming up as Schmidt takes a hit in the corner. Josiah Scrow doesn't know there's a delayed penalty, so it took a little bit long for him to get off, and Schmidt loses control of the puck. So the first power play will go to CSU.
Well, and we'll see what the result of this one is, who it's on, and what the actual call is. But it seems like today so far that the officiating staff has been more lenient, given the benefit of the doubt on certain penalties, certain plays, but that's not going to be the case here, as we'll see our first penalty with 5:15 left in the first period.
And to your point, this period has not a lot of whistles so far in this game, and it's kind of been going by really quickly. So the first power play, sitting in the box, I believe that's number 14. That's Liam Conway. So a chance for the Rams to make it a 3-goal advantage. Off the shot, Martin got a piece of it, didn't know where the rebound was. They had 2 power play goals against DU. And Wild with a shot there. The rebound's there. Another shot gets tipped wide. So 3 shots already early in this power play. Cross-ice pass on the stick of Warfield. Schmidt will try to get it on the front. There is a shot there. And another shot here tipped. I don't know if Martin got a piece of that or it hit Schmidt and deflected out of play. But so far in this power play, good chances for the Rams.
Absolutely. I mean, it's hard to believe 30 seconds have already gone by on the penalty on Conway. So we'll see what else can happen here. And then Martin continuing to show his moments that he has in this game. But he just really needs to start tying them together, and I know he can.
And it was Justice Harrison that had the 2 power play goals against DU. Already has a goal in this game. Aiden Schmidt looking for the tip. Martin with the save. O'Brien with Warfield out. Gets it over to Slaw. Shot from the point. Martin makes the pad save. On the stick of Vaughn. Vaughn behind the net will get it up to O'Brien. Over to Warfield. Feels the pressure there. Will dump it off to Schmidt. A minute left in the power play. Couple of shots. Martin's answered them all. Gets it up to O'Brien. Will take a quick shot. Blocked. Didn't make it to the net. Gets it over to Warfield. Warfield looking for a tip there. Made it through, but not on net. Harrison will collect this loose puck in the corner. Falcons doing a good job of keeping the Rams at the perimeter. Cross-ice pass was looking for Harrison, a little bit behind him, and so the Rams doing the Falcons' work and clearing the puck. 34 seconds left. Morales will call for the puck and bump it off for Schmidt. Had a little bit too much juice on it. Kept in by the Rams. Tyler Shawns put it up to the point, and Wild not able to keep it into the zone. Gets it over to Newmeyer. Shawns will backhand this right on the stick of Tej Scholze. Just 8 seconds left. One last rush for the Rams if they hurry. It was a good power play to start, but the Falcons tightened up their defense and killed the first penalty, but a chance here, sent through the crease. White trying to get a stick out in front. No one was home, and this will be icing on the Falcons as the power play had expired.
Well, and what we saw there on the Bowling Green penalty kill was they already had Tej Scholze and Owen Bentley out on defense, so instead of taking Conway out as another defenseman, they're going to put Caleb Kiesel out there and finalize the line of Amos, Webb, and Kiesel. And so we'll see here too, but Newmeyer, though, also seeing that rush he had to get the play going for Colorado State.
Another offensive face-off. 3 minutes left in the first period. Harrison wasn't able to get a shot off, and I believe, see what this whistle was. It was the referee from far away. It's going to be a CSU penalty. So Easton Harrison's going to sit in the box. The ref called it cross-checking. So after the Rams get a first power play, it will be the Falcons that get a chance to counter. Who should we see on the ice for the Falcons for their first power play?
Well, normally you're going to see kind of the leaders, the older guys, and that all starts with that captain, number 10, Mark Rudo. I mean, this is his 5th year out of Manasquan, New Jersey, and I mean, he's spent a long time here in the orange and brown and is a just strong leader of this team. But he's going to be surrounded now by Austin McMullen, Seth Gobble, Anthony Higgins, as well as C.J. Brown. Rudo drops back to defense. Very typical that we see on the special teams.
We'll talk about a little bit about Mark Rudo. As Dan mentioned, 5th year with the team and 105 games with them, has 53 points, and he is the captain for the Falcons. And the Rams do a good job of collecting the face-off, killing some extra time. One of the strong suits for the Rams so far has been their penalty kill. It did bite them a little bit against DU, but it's been something that they can hang their heads up high throughout this tough season. And throughout, CSU this year is 4-18. They only have 11 points in the season. They're dead last in their division. Power play for the Falcons, trying to get set up. Rudo will skate this in and will dump it around the boards. Pitching it from the point will take a hit there. The puck will come out into the neutral zone. So far, the minute 12 in the power play, the Falcons haven't been able to get anything set up so far. In the neutral zone, Rudo will shoot this on long distance. And the Rams will collect this. And so the second power play unit on for the Falcons wasn't able to get anything going early in that power play.
Exactly, and I mean, you're seeing here, you're more than halfway done with it already, and Scholze is going to have to try to start a rush, drops it back to Kleinow, and then continues on. Bowling Green starting to run out of time here.
And a great move by Kleinow, but an even better save from Josiah Skro. Another chance here, and Skro makes the save. Jackson Beatty, I believe, came into the zone, undressed a couple of Rams defender, made the cross-eyed pass, but Skro was able to sprawl out and make that save.
Exactly, and Hoover being high up too.
We've seen a couple of chances like that for the Falcons, haven't been able to convert on any of them yet. So 9 seconds left on the power play, almost worked, off the chains. Hoover with a chance here, shots was trying to pick his spot, was looking to go glove. Or glove side, just sends it over the net. To away, out in front, Harrison with a chance there to save by Martin with the glove and a dandy.
Great save there for Martin, and we talk about this greatness he has moving his body. Didn't have to do it there, but when he's able to move his glove especially, that's really a strong suit, and we see that in example there.
I know it's early on in the game, but a very important save right there that could potentially put CSU up by 3 goals. So if you're the Falcons and you want to stay in that game, Riley Martin, an absolutely great save in that moment. 48 seconds left out in front. Harrison was looking for anyone in the vicinity. No one was home. Wild will give it over to Newmar. Back to Wild. He'll push it up for Easton Harrison. Not able to get a stick on it. Prime Morales will try to get out in front. Turnover. And Harrison tried to spin it to himself. Wasn't able to keep the puck. Falcons with numbers the other way. Tried to transition. Beatty with a good back check from Harrison. Beatty with 2 Rams on him trying to maintain the control of that puck. Stretch pass on the tape. Easton Harrison with some step. Easton Harrison a shot at another great save by Riley Martin. And looking sharp to end the first period, Riley Martin keeps it a 2-goal game. And after 20, it's 2-0 for CSU. We'll take a short break. We'll come back for an intermission report. You're watching CSU Rams hockey here on Price Productions. Welcome back to the Epic Ice Center. We want to shout out some of our partners for the Classic this year. Thread the Needle. Hockey is the best sport in the world. Your jersey should match that. From mini mite to college, Thread the Needle designs and manufactures custom hockey jerseys with pro-level quality, fast turnaround, and details that matter. Get your jerseys dialed in at www.threadtheneedle.com. Also, New York Life. Your future, built with confidence. Financial decisions are easier with partners by your side. New York Life's agents and advisors take the time to understand your goals and dreams so that you can build the future you imagine. Visit us at www.newyorklife.com. After one, it's a 2-goal advantage for CSU. We saw both teams have power plays in that game. And overall, what was your first impression for the visiting Falcons in that period?
Well, Bowling Green really needing to almost a wake-up call to them. I mean, yes, you get 2 practices before you come out to Denver for the tournament since winter break, but you don't play a game since December 6th. Everybody goes home and goes to different places. You don't get into Denver from the airport until early in the morning, so it's just a period of fatigue. It caught up to them today, but now you get the second period. You get a fresh slate of ice. Literally, they're going out there now to get that fixed up and just, get everything brand new. And when you have to play a team like Colorado State that is just so defensive focused. I mean, you look at the way that Newmeyer played. You look at the way that Wild played. They're guys that stepped up for those all green in Colorado State. So those are going to be the guys you have to look out for, and just also increase your offense and know that you have those leadership positions like Ryan Hoover and Mark Rudo.
If you're head coach Drew Harper, what's your message to the team in this period, in intermission?
I would say mainly just know that there's going to be the fatigue, but discipline yourself to know that you have a lot of hockey up ahead. 4 games in 4 days is not easy for anyone. Having to take it off from just almost nothing is nearly impossible. So knowing that this is just the start of a lot of hockey up ahead, you need to conserve that energy, but that doesn't mean you just lay off the gas and you don't do any work. That means you have to be smart about it. That means that you can't be taking 45 one-minute shifts. That means you have to cut it down to around 30 seconds. That means that, you can't rush it up every time. If you have the opening, take it. We're seeing plays from like Austin McMullen, who's utilizing that beautifully, almost like a Zach Werenski type of player. But either way, Bowling Green's going to have to pass the puck. They're going to have to utilize their team, and they're going to have to keep those shifts short.
And Bowling Green, with the teams that traveled, one of the longer travel distance than the teams that have come down and played in the Classic. So what you mentioned, just the fatigue and the travel and that quick turnaround from being on a plane and being traveling and then playing a game is really difficult, I imagine. So the mental toughness and fortitude for the players are going out in the second period and say, hey guys, we have 3 more games after this, and we really just need to be just mentally tough going forward, and we're athletes and we train ourselves for this. And so just tough first period coming out for the Falcons, looking to respond in the second period. And a couple of teams that came down from the list include Dakota College, East Texas Baptist University, Grand Canyon University, Northeastern University, Providence College, University of California, Berkeley, University of Massachusetts, Amherst, the University of Utah State, and Weber State. A list of teams that have come down for the traffic for the Classic this weekend, and so the travel is different for all the teams. And speaking of Utah State, it will be CSU's next opponent tomorrow. We will be having that game here as well. But we'll talk about the first period for the Rams. Have a 2-goal advantage, and you get a goal again from your leading point scorer and goal scorer, Justice Harrison. What did you like from his game in the first period?
I really like Harrison in a lot of aspects. I mean, you need a guy like Justice to stand up. I mean, you look at the 10 goals you get so far this season, the 21 games he's played, and those numbers you don't see too often, and that's because that's special. That means that, that's a guy that's going to go out there and is going to give his best all, that's going to give the extra effort, and it's going to show for it on the stat sheet. Someone that's going to be able to change the game, someone who's able to be a playmaker, and when you're a playmaker and able to highlight other people, the game is going to reward you on that, and you're going to find the back of the net yourself.
Mm-hmm. And then the second goal in that period came off the stick of number 16, Kirk Slaw. Has now 3 goals on the season, and just you want to get scoring from your depth players as well. And Kirk Slaw hasn't been scoring in the game in quite a while, so that will boost his confidence. We're just moments away from the second period. It was a fun and intense period. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dan. Both teams went 0 for 1 on the power play opportunity that they had.
Well, that would be correct. And I mean, what we saw, we talked about it briefly earlier on, but a big part of that in that period is the referees kind of taking a little bit more of a benefit of the doubt approach, more of a relaxed approach, not calling a lot of things that could go either way, whether or not you want to say it is a penalty or it isn't, but they were going to just hunker down on Liam Conway on one and then Colorado State on another. But both teams will end up going 0-1 so far in the first period on the power play.
We'll start 5-on-5. There's no carryover time going into the second period. And for Doug Sherian and the message for his team, this is exactly what the Rams needed to come out and do. Now the question is, for 40 minutes left in the game, are they able to continue what they started in the first period? And they can't afford to let lost my train of thought, Bowling Green to come back into this game and score a quick one in the second period and get that momentum on their side. So some disciplined hockey coming up for the Rams. They need to stay disciplined, stay out of the box. Don't give enough Falcons another power play opportunity. They were dangerous on their one attempt. Weren't able to get it past Josiah Scrow. We're just moments away from the second period. We'll step aside and then bring you that back. You're watching CSU Hockey here on Price Productions. Welcome back to Epic Ice Arena here in Fort Collins. Second period brought to you by Play It Again Sports. Sell, buy, trade, and win. You may never outgrow your favorite sports, but you may outgrow your equipment. Your locally owned Play It Again Sports provides an easy way to sell your quality used sports and fitness gear and get paid on the spot or trade up for what you need now. On 13075 West Almada Parkway, Lakewood, Colorado. We appreciate them for their partnership for the Big Mountain Classic. Both teams back on the ice for the second period. And a 2-goal advantage for the Rams, looking to just not give up the momentum and not play. You haven't played with a lot of leads in this season so far, and so a little bit of unusual territory for the Rams. And again, like I mentioned in the intermission report, just how do the Rams go into this second period knowing that you have that advantage?
100%. I mean, the fatigue's going to play a big part of the game, and just so is really the way that you observe it and the way that the game's going to go to you. And see it in the first period, the way that one panned out, it goes in the favor of Colorado State. Bowling Green, though, looking for the opportunity to hopefully take advantage of Colorado State and get the game back on their side.
And the conversation, you look on these teams on paper, and for CSU and Bowling Green, you look at it, it's like you see it as a way of like, hey, we're almost identical to this team, and there's no reason that either one of us can go out and play, you know? And just facing that for CSU and for Bowling Green is a very evenly matched up game for these two teams. And I'm just curious to see how the Falcons respond early on in this period and how aggressive that Drew Harper gets his team going early on in the forecheck.
Well, we'll see what has to happen with it, and it's going to be a lot of just the offensive rushers as we see here. Hoover trying to go out on a high one, but this first line going to be ready to make some plays.
Turnover at the blue line, cross-ice pass for Petz. Petz turns up, tries to stop, trying to get a shot on, but it hits the skates before it gets over to Martin. kept into the corner. Shawns will come off. Aiden Schmidt will come on. The Rams elected not to follow that puck. So the Falcons will transition the other way. Backhand on the stick of Wild. Wild will put it in the neutral zone. The Falcons will counter. Gaeta will take a hit by the boards, and Carson Petz is laying on Gaeta like a blanket. To finally get back up to his feet, and it will come onto the stick of Gaeta. Falcons get a full change. Cross ice for Schmidt. Had a good chance in the first period. Wasn't able to capitalize. Schmidt tried to get around one. Good play defensively there by number 15, Schulze, excuse me. Backhand pass that hit off Schmidt, so Vaughn will try to intercept Harrison. Will backhand it over to Schmidt, and he will put this wide in the corner. Transition through the neutral zone. McLaughlin will skate it in on side. Take a shot. Glove by Scro, and he will cover this up. And some extracurriculars after the whistle. Rowan McLaughlin let Josiah Scro know, hey, I'm here. And
a difficult one, I mean, to look at just as a former defenseman myself. Obviously, you know, that's when you just go on your high horse. You go right after him. You defend your goaltender. But McLaughlin there just made a little bit of a comment. I mean, yeah, as you said, just letting him know that he was there. But either way, this is going to be the third penalty today, and it's going to be the second one against the Orange and Brown.
So Rowan McLaughlin is in the box. Good observation there, Dan. I failed to see them go into the box. So the second power play opportunity for the Rams. Face-off controlled by the Falcons, kept in by Warfield. Try to swing it around the boards, intercepted, and Falcons will clear this 200 feet down the ice. Scro will take a tumble trying to collect that puck. And a good forechecking by the Falcons caused a turnover low in the zone. And another hit there. O'Brien will collect this loose puck and take a hit of his own in the boards. Warfield will try to skate it on side, loses the puck, and it will come out to the neutral zone. Good move there by Vaughn, and it will send this up and out of play. So neutral zone face-off coming up for the Rams.
Well, we'll see here what can happen after it, and both sides looking to take a much-needed line change here. But one thing I've noticed, especially about BG in this period, is really being more physical, and it's always been starting with Ryan Hoover, but it's just the entire team now has embraced it and being a lot more physical.
We've seen, a couple of hits early on in this power play, so the aggressiveness and the hitting amping up for the Falcons. A minute 19 left on the second power play. Stretch pass for Nolan Williamson in the zone behind the net. We'll collect this up to the neutral zone, over to Wild. Wild will bring it behind the net. Denny White now on the ice. Newmeyer over to Williamson, playing pitch and catch. Cross ice pass on Sean's backhanded shot there to save by Martin. Nolan Williamson right in front of the doorstep. Martin used that big 5'11", 180 frame, covered up all of the net, and just good response from the first two goals for Riley Martin, and we've seen him kind of get in his rhythm towards the end of that first period and early on in the second period.
He sure has, and Martin with the big save there, and was able to keep this one going as BG continues to try to kill off this penalty.
A shot fanned on by Wild. The Rams keep it in the zone momentarily, and the Falcons will clear this up and down the ice. Will kill some more time on this power play. 42 seconds left to work for the Rams. Newmeyer will take this behind his net and start to transition the other way. White now. Trying to get it over to Shawns. He does. The puck stays at the top of the blue line. Williamson will get it to Shawns. Out in front! And a save by Martin. Rams keep operating. Shawns will get this up to Williamson. Almost loses the puck. Keeps it in. Cross ice. A little bit too far for Shawns. Turnaround shot blocked into the crease. Kept in momentarily. Good play from Wild. Backhand. Tipped rebound. They score! Out in front. The rebound was there. Backhand put it away. That's Denny White. First in the line. There's 6 seconds left in the power play, so that will go down as a power play goal for Dennis White. We'll now have 2 goals in the season. And the Rams strike first in the special teams. They make it a 3-goal lead.
Well, a big play there for White to get that one going. As you said, yeah, his second of the season, and going to be a good power play goal there on that one. Just was able to get past Martin and took advantage of the Bowling Green defense.
You can't blame Martin for that one. He was doing all he can. There was no Falcons defender in the area to clear that rebound. The first one there was White, able to get it past Martin. And early on in the second period, a 3-goal advantage for the Rams. Shot that was tipped wide. The puck will be put. And there's a whistle here. And the ref with his hand up in the corner. The nets here in Epic Ice Arena have a tendency to fall off their moorings quite easily. Seen it numerous times throughout the year. So nets back on. Play will continue to resume. JT Webb on the face-off, gets tied up, and the Rams will go the other way. Bem. You hear it over the PA announce. Sometimes we get a PA announcer, sometimes we don't. We just, whoever's available in the center when it comes to Hansen. Backhand shot there, rebound, and a good save there by Martin. Hansen will get this back up to Morales. Shot from the point blocked. Falcons try to transition the other way. This will be dumped in by Keisel and just gloved by Skro.
And just a baseball play there for Skro to end that number 31 for Colorado State. But either way, Bowling Green down 3-0, and the defense starting to have a little difficulty there, but going to see how they pan out here.
It was the second power play opportunity for the Rams out in front. Some chaos in the crease. Falcons keep it in the zone. From the point, shot blocked there. A good play, given up the body by Williamson. Gato will dump this up and behind the net. Marcus back on the ice, will collect this, try to get it out. And if we've seen what has ailed CSU in this season so far is just in their own new defensive zone. They played much better tonight, and to be able to clear the zone without a lot of difficulty, and it's been a contributing part to their success through the neutral zone. We've seen time and time against teams having their way against the Rams early on in their zone and dominating that time of possession. And so far, the Falcons just haven't been able to find a rhythm yet. Intercepted at the neutral zone. A couple players overskated. It will be collected by Klein now, but it will be whistled offsides.
Well, and a close one there, and I mean, really just kind of got the puck tied up, and you know, you look for what you can get from it and how you can take advantage of that, and Kleinau just had the great opportunity. It just fell a little short for him on the short end of the stick there, but Bowling Green will be able to get a line change from it.
Face-off controlled by the Falcons will be sent into the Ram zone. Newmeyer from behind his net will wait till the play sets up. In the neutral zone, Updike will clear this back around, and Wild will collect this in the corner, but he has to watch out for the forecheck turnover and a shot not on net. We'll see how the Falcons respond after going down 3. The mountain becomes more and more steep. Still have time is not a factor yet for the Falcons. But they need an answer soon if they want to stay in this game. Shawns will avoid a check in the neutral zone. Turnover off of his own player, Conway. Ricochets into the Falcon zone. Newmeyer from a shot from the point. Good save from Martin with the pad. Another shot here, saved it with the shoulder. Able to get a piece of that. Newmeyer off the skate, turnaround shot from Petz. Wasn't able to get a lot on that shot. Easily fought off by Martin. Up in the neutral zone. Wild will collect this by the face-off dot. And he will get off for a change. Stress pass, no Ram in the vicinity. Oh boy. The Rams were caught sleeping there. Ryan Hoover was all by himself. Just a couple of bad puck bounces. Almost had Hoover on a breakaway. The Falcons try to set up in the zone. Shot blocked there nicely by O'Brien. Was trying to spring the other way. Falcons, though, keep it in the zone. Shot, another block from Schmidt. Counter the other way. Schmidt with O'Brien to his right. 1-on-2, Schmidt. There's only a penalty coming up on the Falcons. Good move by O'Brien. A shot, rebound, and Schmidt wasn't able to get a shot away. And in frustration, another power play coming up for the Rams. They're going to call this a hold on. It was from the back-checking effort from one of the Falcons player. I didn't quite see the number, and we'll see who gets into the box. It's
a frustrating penalty here. They're going to say it's a holding on Mark Rudo, and I didn't quite see it. It was just the way the play kind of went, but, you know, just a little bit of history between these two teams, especially when it comes to this Denver showcase, and now we're going to see it here. Bowling Green's going to be on the penalty kill for the third time today.
And the last goal that the Rams scored was on the power play. They'll see if they can capitalize it and make it a 4-goal advantage. In the corner, Schmidt from behind the net. We'll get this up to O'Brien. O'Brien looking for tips. Saved by Martin. Rebound put in the corner. Schmidt now will survey it, take his time, turn it to the point. Switches places with Warfield. Takes it behind the net. Aiden Schmidt going on a little ride. Backhand there. There was a couple Rams, no sticks available, and this will get shot out into the Rams bench.
Well, and I mean, it started off a little slow for the Bowling Green defense, but credit to them for the way that play ended. Just Bentley staying on his man, Scholze able to clear it out, and then the puck gets knocked up a little bit and ends up going into the Rams bench. But either way, to stop that play from happening and avoiding danger, good start for the Bowling Green defense.
You can see that the Rams are really pushing pucks right now in front of Martin. And the Falcons doing a good job on that last play with active sticks, denying the shot to be had. Kept in the Falcons zone. A minute 12 left on this power play. The Falcons will clear it. Scro will push this over for Warfield. And C.J. Brown with the forechecking pressure there. The Rams get who they want on the ice. Nolan Williamson joins the party. Warfield over to Schmidt. Schmidt still on the ice. Gets around one. Schmidt dives for it. Rams able to keep the zone. Williamson to Warfield. Warfield with had a look. Good stick there by number 19, McMullen. The Rams keep it though. Out in front, across ice, Pat. Had Warfield. Didn't get enough on that shot. Had open Twine waiting for him. Stick disagreed. Warfield over to Williamson. Takes a shot. Tipped on. Rebound. Cleared away momentarily. Harrison not able to get in. The Falcons will able to clear this down. Only 19 seconds left on the third power play. Good so far for the Falcons penalty killers.
And another strong suit for Bowling Green on that regard, and really just the Bowling Green defense there stepping up as well again.
White will swat at this to the other side. Wild will come off. That will do it for the power play for the Rams. Rudo will come off into the penalty box. A Falcons gets tripped up in the boards. No call there. White will keep this into the zone. Wild will pinch in. Bouncing puck. Shawns can't get a shot away. Seth Gobble was able to collect that puck in this, barring a foot race. Good speed there by number 13. Andrew Updike beats the icing. Turnaround pass. Falcons able to keep it in. From the point, Beatty will turn the shot on. Scro makes a save. Rebound. Where's the puck? They score. We'll see who gets this goal. I believe it's the man on his backside. Andrew Updike will be credited for that goal.
And a perfect example. You never give up. And Updike there going to do it for Ezekiel as he'll get it on that one and really takes the puck away. You see just the defense stepping up. Beatty up at the line, goes for it. Updike able to finish the play and just was able to get the rebound going against Scro.
Andrew Updike now has 5 goals on the season. He's able to stick with the puck. Scro had trouble with the first shot. The rebound was there. And credit to Updike, able to find that puck and cuts into this Rams deficit. Now it's a 3-1 game. So the Falcons respond. Looking to add some more. Turnover here. Pass a little bit too far from Amos. Harrison will jump on the puck, gets a little bit too far from him. The Webb will turn this around but gets intercepted. Hansen will dump this up and around the board, off the ice. Easton Harrison will fan on the clearing attempt, and Martin will stick this into the corner. I'm not sure who's going to get credit with the assist on the Updike goal, but we do know the goal scorer. And a big collision right down in front of us. The locker room doors pop open, and some pushing and shoving as Harrison have some words for Keisel after that hit. Doors now closed. Harrison in the box. Power play coming up for the Falcons.
Well, in an uncalled for and unnecessary play, right on that one from Harrison, and just really got into the neck of Keisel, and this one's going to cost him. And now Bowling Green, you see there just below on the screen, you get that hit going. But nonetheless, Bowling Green will be on the power play for the second time today. They're going to take Higgins, McMullen, and Gobble out with Conway. And then what they've been doing all season on the special teams, putting Mark Rudo at defenseman.
And after just giving up a goal from the Rams, some work to do on the penalty kill, but a great opportunity for the Falcons to score another goal, cut the Rams lead to 1. So power play to work. Scro makes the save. Rebound trickles onto Rudo's stick. Bem will body his man into the corner. Will come to the stick of the Rams. Will only clear it as far as the blue line. Conway will collect his puck, get it over to Rudo. He will wait to transition the other way. The captain for the Falcons stays an onside. Will chip this round, and David Marcus takes a hit. The Falcons bench was furious that there's no call there. The ref's hand stayed down. Play continues. There's some more pushing and shoving, and in just a blink of an eye, we can see the physicality from both the teams ramping up a little bit. And away from the play, some pushing and shoving. Gobble will push down Luke Hansen. We'll see what kind of discipline gets housed out here, but both teams now not afraid of starting hitting each other.
You're absolutely right, Sean. It has gotten chippy, and almost that benefit of the doubt attitude that the referees have had starting to kind of pan out. I mean, we see earlier Higgins, he gets interfered with, and that could have gone for a penalty, and then Gobble tries to take matters into his own hands. But either way, now we're going to see a situation where 2 are in the box for Colorado State, and they're going to send Seth Gobble, the freshman, to the box for Bowling Green.
My math is correct, and it'll be a 4-on-3 for the next 2 minutes. And an opportunity for the Falcons to, they have 4 Rams on the ice, so for 2 minutes, it'll be 4-on-4, I believe. 5 Falcons still remain on the ice. Okay, so it stays 5-on-4. Still a conversation happening over by the scoreboard. Head referee talking to the Rams scratch players that are in the box. So for the moment, it's going to still stay 5-on-4. They take away the penalty that they put up on the board. So for 1 minute and 6, it'll still be a 5-on-4 penalty kill for the Rams. And still an opportunity for the Falcons. Something to keep an eye on as both teams start to get chippy. Now we've seen that in a period, the first period, that almost flew by quickly. The whistle's now starting to be more of a factor in this game. Cross-ice pass on the stick. Falcons keep it in. Scholze. Over for Updike. Updike, the goal scorer. Scholze will put it behind the net. Over for Hoover. Cross ice on the tip, and the puck was bouncing for Jack Klein now. Falcons able to keep it in the zone, get the cycle going. 15 seconds left in the penalty kill. Out in front, ricocheted in the corner. Back to Scholze. Over to Updike, plays pitch and catch. Klein now. Couldn't handle that puck on the first go. That will do it for the power play. The Falcons still in the offensive zone. O'Brien on the ice now, 5-on-5. So the Falcons not able to counter. O'Brien with a step. Jackson O'Brien. A shot and a great save by Martin. And an even better back check there by number 16, Jackson Beatty. I thought for a second there O'Brien would have a clear breakaway, but good on Beatty to get back there and hustle, deny that chance and keep him to the perimeter.
Making a strong debut for his orange and brown career, but either way you see that one going, and Riley Martin able to avoid disaster for the orange and brown. But one thing I was just noticing, in the zone, they were moving the puck around too much, passing it too much. There was open lanes for Hoover, Kleinow, and everybody, and just kept trying to pass, kept trying to be unselfish, which is good in some moments. We talked about it briefly in the intermission, but there's a happy medium between that to when you actually have to shoot the puck.
Numbers for the Falcons, and the puck was there was a 2-on-1 developing. The puck didn't make it into the neutral zone. The Rams, Ibsen will push it to the corner. O'Brien will keep this in. And for Jackson O'Brien, what a career it's been for the Rams. O'Brien had 20 points last year. He had 10 goals and 10 assists with the team. The captain for the Rams, and an icing here on CSU.
Well, and we'll have to send it to the opposite end of the ice due to the icing, but nonetheless, now we're just kind of having a couple major served. Gobble the one for Bowling Green, and then you take it right back away, but we'll keep it going now.
Face-off controlled by the Rams. Schmidt will hop on it. Someone takes a tumble. 3-on-1. Developing Schmidt crashing the net, and a good defensive play there by number 14. That's Liam Conway, excuse me. He pushes man to the boards. That puck wasn't able to get to the Schmidt. Rebound, puck lay there, and a quick whistle. Conway, I don't believe that Martin had it covered up. Whistle was blown, so the play, both teams will get full line change. Offensive faceoff coming up for the Rams. 5:53 left in the second period. Both teams trading goals in this period. Most recently, Updike on for the Falcons. And a couple of power play opportunity there for the Falcons that they weren't able to convert. And like you were mentioning, Dan, too much passes on that. Not enough towards the net. You've seen that sometimes in this game that Scro has had trouble with that first shot. And that's something that the Falcons can look at creating a chance there.
Absolutely, as Hoover is.
We have a brawl on the ice right there.
We're just, yeah, that's Ryan Hoover.
It's all over. I believe that's Aubrey Primorales. And the tensions and the frustrations on both sides of these games. And believe there was a collision for both of those. Between Primorales and Hoover, and Hoover is going to take a trip early to the locker room. And the Rams fans letting Hoover know. Very warm greeting, hellos here in the Epic Ice Center. But Primorales in the box for the Rams. We'll see how this plays out. A conversation in front of the scoreboard between all three of the officials.
And that was just we saw originally, and now the referees are going to have to take a second to kind of digest this, but either way, Hoover gets the first hit, then there's the second, and normally that's kind of how it goes. There's one spark, there's one, and then there's the explosion.
Usually.
And we see that there as Hoover's going to get ejected with 5:41 left in the second period, and that is a huge loss. Your leading goal scorer this season, ironically, leads the team in penalty minutes as well. But he's got 7 goals this season. He's a cornerstone to that first line of Mark Rudo and Anthony Higgins. And so now what do you do if you're Coach Harper? Who do you put to even quote-unquote replace him on that first line?
I imagine in situations like this for the captain, Mark Rudo, telling his guys to, having that leadership, telling them like, hey guys, let's calm down a little bit, let's play, let's get back to our game, let's get back to what we know. And that's why he's the captain in the first place, Mark Rudo. And with going down like that is a big loss for the Falcons. But there is plenty of goal scorers on this Falcons team that you can lean to, and now it's an opportunity for some of the guys who may have not had opportunities before to really show, like, Coach, I'm here, I can play in this opportunity. So some chances now for some of the depth for the Falcons to put a mark on this game, per se.
Well, and what separates this game from others for Coach Harper is the amount of people he's willing to dress. And while we're not really seeing that on the defensive side, we're seeing that on other aspects of it too, especially with the forwards. and utilizing them throughout the game, which really you have to do it in a situation like this, in a tournament like this. When you go to Denver, you have to play 4 games almost right next to each other. It's a difficult one to process.
And you always have to, as a head coach, keep in mind just the hockey is unlike any, usually have like in the NHL level a break between each game. It's not often that these teams play back-to-back-to-back games over. And as a coaching and for the athletes, how can you keep your body fresh, and how do you keep the play minutes for these for both sides, as there's a shorthanded opportunity for the Falcons. Another hit, and McMullen there, backhand shot there, nifty play. And so on the board, they marked Hoover for a 5-minute major. And so for about the rest of this period, the Rams with an opportunity to tack on a couple, but great shorthanded opportunities early on for the Falcons. That's exactly what you want to see from your penalty killers during a 5-minute major.
There's a lot of things you could see, but right now you really just need to not only ice the puck, you got to keep it in your offensive zone.
2-on-1 developing for the Rams. O'Brien with Schmidt. Onside, O'Brien will take a shot, and it ricochets off a Gaeta's stick behind the net. A couple of 2-on-1s that Schmidt's been a part of. O'Brien elected to take that shot, gets it back to Schmidt, and a save there by Martin from Schmidt's shot out in front. Tip, rebound, and Martin's able to come out and make that save. Puck will trickle back to the Rams zone. I think they blew the whistle because the net came off, and the refs come over and put it back on.
That definitely could have been a factor to it. It looks a little loose from this end. Another thing, too, just you got to look out for is with the referee, they blow that whistle, whether they lose sight of the puck or it's in the back of the net. So definitely a case there that Riley had it covered.
So play resumes. 4 minutes left on the major. The Rams looking to get back their 3-goal advantage. Good move low. Warfield wasn't able to get the backhand on. So pushing, shoving in the corner. And you got to be careful for both of these sides. We've seen that the refs are starting to call these hits in the corner. So both teams got to be careful. O'Brien drags around one, gets it back to the point. Vaughn back to O'Brien off his skates. Will push it into the corner. Jackson O'Brien gets it up to the point. Warfield loses track of that, and the Rams will have to touch up and get back on side. Absolutely deflating after you've got the power play set up. Just little plays like that can make the difference in games like these. 3:22 left in the second period, a 3-1 game. If you missed it, the Rams are on a 5-minute major from the hit off of Ryan Hoover, who's now in the locker room. The Rams are offsides.
As they also have an icing on that one, and is going to, at least that appears to be the looks of things here, but I mean, either way, you're looking at the line Bowling Green and has out right now and what they're looking for. Updike, the lone goal scorer for the Falcons today, and then Jack Kleinow with Ted Scholze, and then you got in his first game as a Falcon and Jackson Beatty.
Face off. Collected by the Rams. We'll dump it around. Williamson will get on his horse. We'll get it up for Newmeyer. Second power play unit on for Doug Sharon. A shot from the point, saved by Martin, and another dandy with the glove. That's twice now that Riley Martin has made an absolute phenomenal save with his glove.
And folks at home watching, don't let the scorer fool you for the performance Martin has had. Yes, he's given up a couple rough ones, but overall, it has been just a strong sense in net for Martin, especially with the screens as he gets one there, but still makes the save.
And we see that the Rams are really doing their best to cover the eyes of Martin, and that's the way that they've a couple of rebounds and just one nifty move by Justice Harrison to be him 5-hole. But when Riley Martin seen the puck clear all the way, making some phenomenal saves and easy saves. Shawns will win this face-off. Williamson will push it over for Wild, back to Newmeyer. Williamson able to keep the puck with some space. Williams shot and another save. The Red Seas parted momentarily there. Williamson had some space, wasn't able to beat Martin on that shot.
And another brick wall performance and opportunity just taken away by Riley Martin to get this one going, and really been the strongest piece to a struggling Falcons team so far in Game 1 of this Denver Classic.
And to your point, it could easily be a 4-1 game. And Schmidt calling the puck as the Falcons were changing. Cross-ice pass at a good defensive stick there. I believe that was Ted Schulze was denied that cross-ice pass. The Rams are trying to catch them in a change. 2 minutes left on the 5-minute major. The Falcons playing bend but not break defense in their power play, or the penalty kill, excuse me. 2:41 left in our period. Tyler Vaughn will skate this onside, take it to the corner, bring it back to the point. O'Brien back on the shot, he scores! Jackson O'Brien! O'Brien now with 7 goals on the season. It will be the second power play goal of the night for the Rams. They get their 3-goal advantage back and still have a minute 51 left on the power play to operate.
And one for the captain on that one, and O'Brien, and credit to him for his 7th of the year, but the discipline's been the strongest Achilles heel for Bowling Green today, and really going into fruition. I mean, you talk about it, half your goals coming from the special teams. That's just something you have to look over, because if you get rid of those, it's only a 1-goal game.
It's a good point, and just something that the Falcons can look to clean up going into the remaining 3 games. You will not have a tough weekend if you cannot stay out of the box, and the Rams taking advantage of the chances that they've had. Jackson O'Brien gives the Rams back a 3-goal lead. Still a minute 21 left on the 5-minute major. Turnaround intercepted. McMullen will dump this around the corner. Turnover again out in front, Amos, and a rebound. Skro pushes this out. Almost a dangerous chance for the Falcons to score shorthanded there. Good save by Josiah Skro. Carson Petz calling for the pass. Gets around one. Waits, takes a shot, rebound, and Harrison, that was Easton, not able to cash home the rebound. Another shot, tip sent wide. Petz with the tip there. Slaw. Schmidt on the ice. Neumeier almost intercepted, looking for the tip. Schmidt was crashing the crease, and this puck will get sticked aside by Martin out of play.
And that it sure will, but either way, Conway stepping up near the end to keep the goal out of the net, and really what's been just strong for Colorado State's offense is getting in front of Martin so he can't see the puck, but also finding that backdoor opportunity to take advantage of and then leading it from there, and that's how they've been getting their goals, is just setting those advantages and utilizing the team effort against Martin.
Face-off control by the Falcons. Sent up, and Hansen tried to keep it in. Good play by Brown to clear it out momentarily. The Rams do push it back. Up and off the boards, kept in. That was Levi Bem. Schmidt not able to get to that loose puck, and Brown will dump this up and out of play, down to the Rams zone. 11 seconds left on the power play. The Rams cash in 1 goal. And for the Falcons, did get scored on, but the damage minimized, one could say. Was looking for Schmidt, able to collect, but Schmidt with a shot and a great, getting away with that. That was Gaeta that blocked that shot, and another chance the other way. Block one shot, a chance the other end of the ice for Carter Gaeta. Wasn't able to get a stick on it, but a good 200-foot effort. Carter Gaeta, it's his 2nd year with the team. He only played 9 games last year, but in his tenure this year, 17 games played, he has 1 goal, no assists so far this year. But the effort I see on the ice, playing well in the defensive zone, and then leading to another chance for Gaeta.
It sure does, and I mean, Gaeta, just look at that opportunities he's getting, and really, like you said, it's exactly just the 200-foot opportunities, as C.J. Brown's going to have to take the draw for Bowling Green.
Shot
and
off
play
the
resumes.
A shot off the face-off was sticked aside by Skro. Only 16 seconds left in the 2nd period. David Marcus tries to get around 2 Falcons, not able to do so with the puck. Kleinow looking for the puck. Takes it to the point. 3 seconds left. One last look before the period ends, and that will do it. So after 40 minutes, CSU with the 4-1 lead, and some more conversations just as the period ended. Some players exchanging Snapchat handles, we could say. So after 2, Rams with the lead. We want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, New York Life. Your future built with confidence. Financial decisions are easier with a partner by your side. New York Life's agents and advisors take their time to understand your goals and dreams so you can build the future you imagine. Visit www.newyorklife.com. So after 2, we will step aside. We'll come back for the second intermission report. You're watching CSU Hockey here on Price Productions. Welcome back to Epic Ice Center here. The second intermission brought to you by Colorado Media School. Colorado Media School is an American private institution that instructs students in all areas of the broadcast media industry. It's a comprehensive, hands-on program where students are trained by broadcast media professionals currently working in the field. We'll also give a shout-out to HydroDig, the premier hydrovac and cathodic protection service provider, proudly serving the Western states since 2009. Don't just dig, HydroDig. So in the second intermission, it was 2 goals from CSU and 1 goal from the Falcons. They were able to make it a 3-1 game in that period, and for a moment there, it seemed like the Falcons were pushing back and getting themselves back into this game.
And they sure would. They sure will, and that's what you saw earlier. And you look at it was really just Austin McMullen taking the rushes. You try to see a little bit of his opportunities. The physicality began, but it went a little too far. I mean, you see Ryan Hoover was starting it off clean. It was the nice checks, it was authentic, and it was good. The team followed suit, and then you see Ryan Hoover gets into a fight. He gets ejected for the orange and brown, and that's kind of when chaos began to collapse against the Falcons. And so now we're at a situation, Colorado State is up 4-1.
It's kind of the thorn in the side for the Falcons has been the power play. Got 2 power play goals so far in this game, and how can the Falcons look to, what do they need to do to just stay disciplined and stay out of the box and not let these Rams power plays get going again?
Well, and part of that too is just really the discipline factor. You look at that, you look at the defensemen so far and how they've been correlating with everything. And one thing I've really noticed, Sean, is just you look at the way they take the discipline and the way that they translate it to their guys and how they move along. I mean, when you look down low, you're seeing the back doors not quite there. You're seeing somebody possibly getting uncovered. But then once you're able to make that opportunity, work as a team, you get it cleared out. But when that just keeps coming back to back to back, you're going to lose focus. You're going to get tired. And Riley Martin can only do so much. He has, though, been phenomenal so far today for the orange and brown. The score should not be an indicator of his performance.
Definitely one of those, if you just check the box score, you might see that it was a dominating game from CSU, but that's not quite the story that we've seen because Riley Martin has been playing very exceptional in between the pipes and just not able to get some help out from this defense, clearing those pucks and keeping the Rams forwards out from his vision. And so looking to improve that for the third period. On the other hand, CSU found success on the power play, and that was one thing that we've seen this season that has been a little bit of a down spot for CSU, not able to getting their special teams going. We've seen that they had a strong penalty kill throughout the game so far, but the power play has not been a success for them. And so clicking tonight, and a big reason why they're up 4-1 and looking to continue that in the third period. And just we saw it in the second period. The refs are starting to call a little bit more, starting to call a little tight game. So both teams have to play smart, disciplined hockey. And for the Rams, they can't afford to go into the penalty box themselves and give the Falcons a chance to get power plays of their own and have a chance to come back in this game.
Well, and that's 100% correct. You know, especially if you're shorthanded, that makes your job a lot more difficult to come back from it. And you know, if you're having the power play, you really need to take advantage of it, not waste the time, but also not try to rush things. And Bowling Green has yet to find that happy medium, it seems like. Just getting back from the break where they look for it along and they're getting the passes going, but it goes a little too far, and then you get the rush going the other way for Colorado State. Or you see a situation where Bowling Green gets rid of the puck too early, and that begins with the same other thing. It's a breakout for Colorado State, which leads to success for them.
And we'll give a shout out to Josiah Scro tonight, and haven't really called his name often, but playing well. And they scored off of a rebound for Updike that was able to get that rebound. And so one thing the Falcons will be aware of going in that second period, they know that Josiah Scro hasn't been able to handle the first puck, the first shot, and so they'll be looking to crash the net, get some rebounds, and see if they can get themselves back in the game. And then for the Rams, just helping their goaltender out, still blocking shots. And again, like I said, just the key to the success for this period, just making sure that the Rams stay out of the box.
Well, getting over the opportunity is a huge, thing that you got to look out for. And what Bowling Green needs to stand out and stand upon is just their strength that they have and this team chemistry that, you know, seems to be a little bit more stagnant today than normal. But, I mean, either way, you know that you got the guys out there for the support. You know you got a lot of guys out there, especially on the forward side of things. You're able to use the bodies to your advantage and take them back along as well. So we'll see what more is yet to come for Bowling Green. And you never know. I mean, a 3-goal comeback is definitely in the picture.
And that is one thing the Rams have to prepare themselves for. A hungry Falcons team coming out in this third period, and they cannot expect them to start packing up the bags early and heading out. There's still 20 minutes left to play, and we are excited to bring that here. We'll step aside. The players are coming back on the ice, and we'll take a short break, and we'll bring you the third period in just a couple moments. And we're back here at the Epic Ice Center. Third period just about to be puck drop here. Sean Rosenberger alongside Dan traveling with the team. You can catch Dan and Bowling Green for the rest of the weekend. Be on the lookout on the social media pages to find the links. All of the games for the Big Mountain Classic will be streamed. We will have all of CSU's games here on Price Productions. So be sure to check out the links in Price Productions. Give us a follow on Instagram. Follow us up on YouTube as Falcons ice this puck early. There's no penalties. Both boxes are empty. So 5-on-5. Tyler Shawns will step into the face-off. Won that. Petz will take a shot, but take a hit as he's doing so. Gets back on his feet. Petz not able to collect the puck. Shot from the point. Easily patted away by Martin. McMullen gets around Slaw. And will take a shot. Not on net, but he got a lot on that. Scholze thought he had some reinforcements in his own zone. Carson Petz was the only one there. And Petz, backhand shot here, scores! Carson Petz flutters one on goal. Fools Martin, I think. A flutter puck and beats Martin on the stick side.
And what a goal for Petz just to get it, and one not really a lot of people would have expected. Just got the backhand on it right, and you know, sometimes that's all you need, and just a lucky opportunity for him.
It didn't feel like a high danger opportunity. It kind of just felt in a way, and here's Vaughn the other way with a step. Vaughn, rebound was there. There was two CSU Rams there. Vaughn and Schmidt was able to go to the left side, so another opportunity for the Rams, but it's a 5-1 game.
Well,
it's Carson Petz' second goal of the season. It's his first year with the team. So Carson Petz on the score sheet tonight.
Well, and either way for that, and you know, you get the net off for just a quick little breather, but Bowling Green either way just looking tired in this period, and you know, you got 3 games left up ahead, but just the 2 periods you've played previously in Latravel starting to catch up to you.
Face off, tied up in the zone. Schmidt will collect this in the corner, try to get it up to the point to Hansen, and Didn't have enough juice on that, so Levi Bem will retreat back to his zone. Send it up and around the board. Vaughn will try to collect this, but one thing about the Epic Ice Center, the puck will take some weird ricochets off the boards. We saw it a couple times in the game against DU, where the puck will ricochet right on the board behind the goaltender and come right out into the blue crease. Haven't seen it tonight, but these boards take some weird ricochets. Collision right in front of the scorekeepers. Physicality still ramping up in this game, but with 2 minutes into the period, the Rams add another goal, make it a 4-goal advantage. Prime Morales not able to get a stick, tripped there, and the Falcons will have an opportunity to go on the power play. Aubrey Prime Morales will sit in the box. It's just their, correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, the third power play opportunity of the game.
And that will be correct. The third power play going for the Orange and Brown, and just was able to topple the 6'5" man in Seth Gobble, and he'll fall to the ice on that. But Bowling Green going to have an opportunity for a power play here, now down by 4 in the third period.
And a crucial point of the game, if the Falcons want to get any signs of life going towards the end, they need to cash in on this power play. The Rams will collect it off the face-off and send it down the boards. Updike will start this behind his net. Begin the transition the other way. Schulze, drop it off, cross ice pass, Klein now. Brown will collect this puck behind the net. Try to get it down in front. CSU Rams stick was there. Out in front again. Schulze with a shot. Scroll rebound. They score. The rebound fell to the stick of Amos. Scroll thought he had it covered up, but froze like a statue, and Amos cashes home the loose puck. So now it's a 5-2 game, and Tanner Amos gets his first goal of the season.
Well, that is correct, and on top of that, this is his first goal of his career as a sophomore, so coming at a little bit of just a monotone time for Bowling Green, but you got to be happy for a personal achievement like that, and a buddy that you played high school hockey with, and JT Webb, to take the draw, and then you're going to have Brett Kiesel at the right wing.
And someone grabbed that man his puck, like Dan mentioned, his first goal in his ACHA hockey career. So congratulations to Tanner Amos. He played at Bowling Green High School before playing with the Bowling Green team this year. Warfield will bring this in. Takes a shot here and a good save by Martin. So now 5-2 game. And a step on here. Skro needs to get back in his crease, try to clear that away. Keisel was alone again. There's a couple of times in this game where the Rams defense has not been there. Saved by Martin, rebound, turnaround shot by Bess, he scores! Excuse me, that's Nolan Williamson. His first goal in the ACHA.
So back-to-back first goals in this one. First Tanner Amos, and then on the other side, Nolan Williamson in the two games he's played, this season. He's going to get lucky number 3 and puts Colorado State up by 4 once again.
Credit to Williamson for sticking with that play. Not a bad first goal for your CSU Ram. Not debut, rather, but his third game with the team. So just as quickly as the Falcons put their second board, the Rams counter back and just kind of been, you think for the Rams, you got to give credit for the response after each of the Falcons' goal and not letting the momentum shift, per se, switch for the BG. And just with the, if my math's correct, just within a minute of, or rather 2 minutes probably, from Amos scoring his goal, the Rams are able to counter that. And if you remember, there was almost a breakaway chance for Bowling Green that got away from Keisel. And just good job by the Rams overall. Another blade comes out. That's number 21. That's Nolan Patton. That's 2 Falcons this game that have lost their skate blade. Ipson with a shot from the point. Out in front, rebound, Slaw. A couple of chances there. Pets being involved again. Slaw with it behind the corner. Try to get it over for Sean. Buck will come loose for the Falcons. Sent the other way, Andrew Updike. Slap shot from a tough angle. Scro's able to make the save with the pad. Over to Pets. Able to get around one from Conway. Ipson, try to get it up to Slaw. Good move by Conway. Gets a shot off, not on net. Wild will turn. Get away from Rudo, excuse me. Stretch pass on the tape for Vaughn. Vaughn will control it. Try to get it over O'Brien. Slap shot from the point. Tipped on, and this was hit off the glove of Schmidt. We'll see if this counts. For now, it seems like this goal will stand. It hit off Aiden Schmidt's left glove. Bounces past, Martin. But if that stands, that will be Aiden Schmidt's first goal of the year.
Well, and there you have it, 3 straight for firsts this season. 2 of them from Colorado State. They extend the lead now just a little bit more after the goal from Schmidt. And really unfortunate after Patton gets his skate blade out, and then just an unfortunate bounce. Martin really having a difficult time.
And for Aiden Schmidt, just have to give credit where credit due. Riley Martin tonight has played a phenomenal game, and I don't think the scorer should poorly reflect his play tonight. But for Aiden Schmidt, what a confidence boost for him. I want a weird bounce from him, but a goal is a goal at the end of the day. Had a couple of great chances last weekend, wasn't able to cash any home. There's a rebound there, another rebound, they score! All sorts of chaos. That's McMullen. There are 3 rebounds that the Falcons had an attempt to. The third one was the magic one. And Austin McMullen, his 4th goal of the year. So now it's a 7-3 game. And within the last 4 minutes, just goals for everyone.
Exactly, and I mean, that's going to end the first goal streak, but credit to him to find the back of the net, especially just the way he's been battling all season and kept it going today. But looks like Bowling Green will clear house on their lines.
In just his 2nd year with the team, McMullen, he played had 10 total points last year in the 24 games that he played. Gets on the scoreboard tonight, makes it a 7-3 game. Scro wasn't able, and I talked about it in the intermissions, Dan. One thing that Josiah Scro hasn't been strong in tonight is covering up those rebounds, and for the 2nd time, it's hurt him.
Exactly. He really could be just that kind of player and utilizing that to his advantage. And, you know, it's been just the Scro show tonight for sure, and really going to their opportunities and advantage. And even with all the goals we've seen in the 3rd period, you still got to take credit for the actions he's done.
And it has been a strong game for Josiah Scro. It's senior night here for the Rams, and Scro was one of the 3 Rams that got honored before. The other 2 being Cross North, who's sitting on the bench tonight. I imagine he will get the go tomorrow against Utah State. Cross North usually the go-to man. Denny White takes a shot, blockered away by Martin. Another shot out in front. Marcus was trying to collect that on his blade, but go back to Cross North. I don't want to predict. I imagine that CSU will elect to go with number 32 in net. And for the goaltending situation for Bowling Green, 3 goaltenders on the roster: Timothy Whitehead, Riley Martin, and I'm going to butcher his name, so I apologize, but number 35, Mitchell
Norkavicius.
Absolute legendary hockey name. And I imagine he's played 9 games. He shared the load with Martin, each of them having 9 games. Whitehead only playing 3 games so far. You have any prediction on who might get the start tomorrow for for the Bowling Green? Out in front, another chance there. Warfield there, and do you have a prediction of who do you think Coach Drew Harper will go into net for next game for the Falcons?
Well, and Bowling Green currently trying to take advantage of any chance they get and going to start it out with an icing. But as you know, a bit of a difference between high school and college rules is after an icing, you're not allowed to change after the icing. Mm-hmm. So that's going to force Gobble, Updike, and appears to be the new guy in Beatty, and McLaughlin out there as well. So BG just really getting caught up with the fatigue. They just need an early go to bed tonight.
And it is one of those games that you'll have to have a memory of a goldfish and respawn back tomorrow. Bowling Green will go against Weber State in tomorrow's game. That game will be played at the Promenade. Right now the Falcons trying to control it in the Ram zone. Schmidt not able to take it out of the defensive zone, kept in momentarily. Higgins slips the check. Bem crashing in as well out in front. Evades the stick. O'Brien will skate out the other way. Has 1 goal tonight, Jackson O'Brien. One thing I would like to mention for this Rams team, they're without Zach Carlton. And Scrow with a nice save there. Gets pushed over. I believe that will be one of the cases that you can make that a Rams player pushed one of the Bowling Greens into Scrow, so no call there. Play continues. But I wanted to mention that no Zach Carlton out on the ice for the Rams. He's only played 7 games this season. I meant to talk to head coach Doug Sheridan about the status of where number 5 has been, and haven't heard from him yet. So no Zach Carlton for the Rams squad. I don't know for how long, but a big part for this team. Zach Carlton has his 4th year for the Rams. He had in 71 games, he has a total of 40 points, and he had a big goal last year in the the quarterfinals against Wyoming. An absolutely beautiful shot on the left circle. Another shot here that Martin will gobble up.
Well, and there's a lot, too, that you just got to digest and take a look at. I mean, Mark Rudo, the BGSU captain, who has had issues with his shoulder all season, just went off the ice limping on that regard. And then Higgins gets pushed into Scrow, almost just kind of caught up in the play, didn't try to hit him, and just, a little bit of friendly fire there for Colorado State.
Shot that it's tipped on, didn't make it on net. Another shot here, tipped in. From our angle, that looked like it was going ricocheted again, but it goes into the corner. The Rams looking to add on. Going the other way, Klein now. Buck eludes his stick. Falcons will shoot it in the Ram zone. Newmeyer. Get it up the boards for Prime Morales. Pass that's intercepted off the skates. Amos was looking to spring the other way, wasn't able to collect the loose puck. Wiles will get it up for Harrison. Harrison will fire a shot from the blue line, and Martin will push this out of play.
Well, and just what a way to send it out, and Martin there to be just on it and just stayed on top of the puck, followed it through, and sends it back the length of the ice. You really got to look so far there now what it means. Looking to go with 9 minutes remaining.
Face off, trickled over by the Falcons boards. Up and around, and Falcons try to clear this out. Kept in by White, turn around. Marcus at the top of the slot, blocked, rebound, and another great save by Martin. He had White crashing the zone, and Martin was able to sprawl to his right to cover up that shot. We want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Brought to Reality, honoring the life and legacy of our own, Nick Bales. Nick created an apparel brand called BTR as a way of combating the challenges of mental health awareness, anxiety, depression, and suicide prevention. Will and Mariah Bales turned BTR into a foundation through December 2025, have provided over 2,084 counseling sessions, and contributed over $176,000 to help those who cannot afford it. With over 170 plus student athlete seasons representing BTR. Let's not lose one more individual, www.broughttoreality.com. 8:45 left in the third period. A 2-minute power play coming up. So JT Webb that's in the box, so another power play opportunity coming up for the Rams. Vaughn, a shot here and another glove save by Martin. When he's got his glove going, those saves have been quite miraculous to see.
Well, he sure does, and that's what Martin's been trying to utilize lately. I mean, he had a bit of a rough patch to begin the period, but Bowling Green going to be forced into more pressure on the penalty kill as the penalty will go against JT Webb.
Penalty woes continue for the Falcons tonight. A shorthanded opportunity was coming up. That was Jackson Beatty that forced a turnover. It looked like he had a little pep in his step. Puck will elude them. Warfield will get this over to Vaughn. Vaughn over for O'Brien. O'Brien, the shot here and a save. Martin checked behind him to see if it's trickling. Covered up in the breadbasket.
And just the Martin really been shaken up today, and part of that just shows the mental battle of hockey and how difficult it is to be a goaltender. And really, you look at that and just that self-doubt almost that he hadn't saved it really goes to show how difficult it is to be a goaltender.
And just for Riley Martin, just coming up big for his team. A disappointing scoreboard, but for those who have watched, you know that this game could have been way more of a blowout for the Rams if it was not for Riley Martin. The 7 goals this season will be the highest goal total that the Rams have put up to any opponent this season. So an offensive showing. O'Brien will take this rebound off the skate into the corner. And this will be cleared down the ice. 53 seconds left to go in the power play. Neumauer collect this behind the net. Tipped by Schmidt. Gets intercepted in the neutral zone. Shawns will swan at this. Falcons get there first. And that will do more. 30 seconds left on the power play. The Rams, a couple of shots. Not much else happening so far in this power play opportunity. Neumauer able to get this puck. Skated onside. Drop it off for Williamson. Williamson stops on a dime. Over for Wild. Gets it to White. Back to Wild from the point. Pushes it to Williamson. Takes a little of a tumble. Able to get it over. Shot here. Rebound. Backhanded O'Brien. Not able to collect it. And the Falcons will clear this out, and that will do it for the power play. Wild pushes it to O'Brien. Cross ice on the ice. Williamson found on the tack. Rebound. Gets pushed up and out. So good penalty kill there from the Falcons. A turnover created in the neutral zone. Schulze tried to get it around one. Not able to collect the puck. Williamson able to fish this out. Gets it up to Harrison. So both teams seems like the pace of play, the Rams are trying to control the time of possession and just get this game to the end and look towards tomorrow. A chance out in front and a great diving play there by Luke Hansen. Denies the cross-ice pass from number 34 of the Falcons. There is a whistle here.
Well, and that's a prime example of you wait too long, you see the rush, the breakaway, and then the go-down slide that the Rams have, and that was just a great move defensively, able to read the play, knew it was all or nothing going in, and took complete advantage of that But if you get that shot off earlier and you're able to read it, who knows? That's a goal for the Falcons.
Conway will get this shot, got a tip, but Rudo sent it into the corner. Justice Harrison trying to travel through the neutral zone. Easton not able to get it into the Falcon zone. 5:36 left in the third period. A 7-3 game. Good move by Rudo to get him on run. Slips the check of Hansen. Shot from the circle. And a good stick there. Wasn't able to get a shot off. Levi Bem will collect the loose puck. Harrison was looking for the stretch pass. Will drop it off to his brother, Justice. Tried to get around one. Drop a pass for Morales. And wasn't able to get a shot there. Falcons trans the other way. Higgins will just take a slap shot from the point and hold on from this.
And just caught it right in the glove by Scro and was able to find that one and take it up from Higgins. And unfortunate for him. I mean, the angle wasn't quite there, but I mean, you get the power on it and you try to get something left going in the winding moments of this game, and really just been a rough day for Bowling Green.
It has been a rather frustrating game for the Falcons. Not a lot of the bounces going in the favor of BG. The Rams look to counter the other way. Slaw, shot blocked by McMullen. Transition the other way, 2-on-2. Keisel will race this to the puck in the corner and will not beat the icing. So an offensive faceoff coming up for the Rams.
And I mean, exactly. You look at the play there and what it means, and then you look a little bit more in depth and what the causation has been for BGSU to struggle tonight, and a lot of that is the way it's been panning out. It's been just these moments have built up and have caused them to be losing this game.
Puck will trickle into the Ram zone. Warfield will collect this behind his net. Forechecking effort there. The Rams able to elude that. Petz with the goal in this game. Gets it up to Shawns. This will be offsides. Sagen Financial Services. Hockey is about vision, discipline, and playing the long game. And so is your financial future. At Sagent, we help advisors and clients build smarter strategies for what's next. Experience, wisdom, integrity, innovation at work. Learn more at www.sagientfs.com. Sagent is a proud to sponsor the ACHA athletes participating in the Big Mountain Classic Showcase. So another penalty gets put up on the board. That's 2 for 2 for me reading ads that end up in penalties that have been called on the Falcons. So another power play opportunity for the Rams. See how aggressive Doug Sheridan wants to get on this power play. Neumeier will speed his way into the zone. Schmidt will race in to help him collect the puck. We'll try to get out of Vaughn. Vaughn, one-on-one, a shot. Great save by Martin. Had Vaughn squared up. He saw that puck all the way. And that's just a bit of a taste of what Riley Martin has been doing for his team tonight. We've seen that those one-on-one uncontested shots have largely gone in the favor for Martin. And that's another example there. Conway will flick this on. Scro will cover this up in the breadbasket.
And unfortunate for Conway. I mean, he had the rush going and it made the smart move to pinch up, and unfortunately it just all caught up to him right at the blue line and had to lose it. And the dump in play that Coach Harper likes to try to start the momentum, start the play going for the offense, ends up going right into the chest of Scro.
So on the power play, face-off in the Ram zone. The Rams will win this face-off, and one observation to make is the Rams have been very good in the face-off dot tonight. Well, another one of the points of where the Rams have struggled a lot this season. But doing well in the face-off dot tonight. And this puck gets put up into the Rams bench.
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm so sorry, but thank you. I mean, time has really just gone by fast. I mean, you saw earlier in the third period the way that just that 20 minutes was on then 17. It just kind of goes on and on. Now the time's starting to really go by against Bowling Green with 2:50 left in the third period.
Ultimately, the fifth goal that Bowling Green gave up at the beginning of the period was one of the ones that, and a shot here that Scro had a fight off there. But back to my previous point, the fifth goal at the beginning of the third period was a very deflating one for this Bowling Green side, as you wanted to be the one that comes out in the third period and get on the board quickly. And just kind of one of those nights for Bowling Green in just all aspects of the game.
I mean, you look at it and just it's been a rough go at it, but I think you kind of need that pain of just going through it and having to make the adjustments that we could see for the rest of the showcase.
And another save here by Martin as the power play expired. So, good night for Josiah Scro. It will improve to 2-2. And I expect either it'll be Cross North tomorrow against Utah State, or Doug Sheridan will surprise us. We may see Mason Bean in net. We'll see maybe all four of the Rams goaltenders in action tonight. We'll see how Doug Sheridan wants to split the games among his goaltenders. A collision there, and Nate Solquez, I believe. That's Luke Hansen. Laid the ball out in front. A great chance there. Rebound. Oh, boy, what a good move out in front. And an even better save from Josiah Scro. I believe that was Ted Scholze that was displaying the mitts there. Turnaround shot blocked before it got to Martin. And a good save by Scro, but we've seen a couple of some nasty moves from Bowling Green players tonight. This will be icing on the Rams. So 1:18 left in our game. Tomorrow's puck drop. Tune in here again on Price Productions as the Rams get ready to face Utah State. And that will be a good one to watch. Utah State coming in red hot. They're fourth in their respective division. Schaff at the face-off. Scro saves it with the blocker. Bowling Green will also see Utah State this weekend. Cross-ice pass, Vaughn, he scores! Tyler Vaughn makes it 8-3.
And the hot stretch goes and just is going to go till the end. It's been one of those games. Tyler Vaughn, though, all alone, finds another one for the assistant captain. And now it's a 5-goal lead for Colorado State.
And Tyler Vaughn is tied for second in points on the team. Bring his point total up to 14. Now he'll have 6 goals on the season. He's able to beat Martin on the stick side. Beautiful cross-ice pass. I believe that was Levi Bem that was on the right side to dish off that pass, but an absolute goal explosion for the Rams tonight, and just the response you needed to get this Big Mountain Showcase started. Here's number 34 out with another move there. Only one of the out in front turnover. And a chance there for Anthony Higgins, and that stick slam up against the boards sums up just the frustration that the Falcons are feeling tonight.
It has been a frustrating night indeed for the Orange and Brown, and one that, you know, you could pinpoint just not having played a game since December. You could pinpoint it on the rest. You could pinpoint it on this, but it's really just difficult to do so. You got to just activate a lot of different things going for Bowling Green, but I mean, if you take it and say we're playing at the Slater Family Ice Arena, but Bowling Green also gets some games, do we get a different result?
And as a former player yourself, how do you deal with these kind of games, and how do you get yourself prepared for your next one after a tough night like this?
Exactly, and I mean, you're going to have to just get the night's rest, and, you know, it's going to be the first time you get real rest in 1 to 2 days roughly, but Weber State's going to show up tomorrow at 3, and you're going to have to play them whether you're ready or not.
And talk about Weber State, one of the top teams in the ACHA in their respective division. And I could be wrong, but checking their record earlier, 22-0 for Weber State this season. And both these teams tonight will play Weber State So that will be a big game. And Weber State came down earlier this season. They played the teams here at Metro State and DU as well as CU and had themselves a spectacular outing. And that is it for our game. Your final is 8-3. Your Rams start the Big Mountain Classic on the right note. And got goals from 6 different players tonight. Or rather, 8 different players. There was no one with a 2-goal game. So the Rams scoring from all over. And both teams will meet at the center ice. Well, one of the best traditions in all sports, I don't care which sport, the handshakes at the end of the game. It's always a big showcase of sportsmanship, even after all what happened after 60 minutes and the fights, and you forget for a moment that we're all athletes and just doing the same thing.
Exactly, absolutely. And I mean, you look at, now you got to look at what's next. Now that you've finally gotten through this, if you're BG, you know that it's not going to be easy playing Weber State tomorrow. Colorado State's going to be no different. You see what their schedule is going to entail. And we're just going to have a great rest of our time here visiting in Denver, Colorado. Thank you so much for having me tonight on your broadcast.
And yes, absolutely, Dan. Thank you so much for coming down and joining the broadcast. We really appreciate your insight to the sport and your insight to the visiting Bowling Green. And we want to thank you all for tuning in tonight and always checking in the CSU Rams. And be sure to tune in tomorrow. The puck drop will be at 7:30 tonight here at Epic Ice Center. Sean Rosenberger on the call, Megan Patrick as my producer, and Mary Lindsay as my camera. We wish you a good night, and we will see you all tomorrow.